to be a better series than I expected. I was so certain even for the start. My prediction is 4-0. I'm with like some of the other Korean commentators, some of the other pro gamers out here. I was saying, man, Stats got dominated before, but after those first 2 games, he pulled it back together. And winning one of the first 3 games is one thing, but being 0-2 and then having a sick hold and very fast counterattack is another.
Sorry to cut you off, but we got the man himself in the studio. The crowd goes wild. Of course, if you don't know who that is, get your esports license checked. That is, of course, Boxer Emil Juan.
If you don't know who he is, then do some esports history lessons. Get out there.
Yeah.
Go to liquipedia.net.
Contact your local esports historian. Get your textbooks out, start reading up on this guy, and just about the history of the teams too. Because they've been around for a long time as well.
And that's right. So we have. Oh, I thought we had an interview for a second. I just saw the Korean commentators out of the corner of my eye. I was like, oh, but
it's
no.
Kind of like I heard you guys liked casting while you cast, so we put casters while you cast, and even more casters. JYP, former player, is also here. Now casting for the GSL.
That's right. See him there a lot of the time when you and I go down there to broadcast GSL. So a big household name of Starcraft 2 has been around since the beginning.
When are they going to put the camera on GTR? He's right over there.
Yeah, he's like right over there. He's like #1 esports fan, GTR. He's giving us some.
He knows we're talking about him, but he doesn't know what we're saying.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
All right, it looks like Stats is back. It is time for map number 4, Orbital Shipyard. A huge map. All-in's not as popular here. Drops still feasible. We've seen Dark do it on this map before.
Yeah. I think this one favors Stats. I see a lot of Zergs, especially over at GSL. This gets vetoed a lot of the time. They don't necessarily like to play on this map. And I don't know, though. I mean, Darky's showing us a very interesting style. He could mix it up on this map. And just the way he's playing tonight, I feel like he should be okay on any map against Stats. But Stats, he's got to be feeling some pressure. Take it off from that last win. Guys, the map is loaded up, so let's jump into game number 4 on Orbital Shipyard between Dark and Stats. Here we are on Orbital Shipyard for the continuation of our PvZ. And up in the top right, the red Zerg, it is Dark.
2-1 lead currently against his opponent. To the bottom left, in blue, it is Stats from the team KT Rolster. Wants to tie the series up here. As you mentioned, it seems to be the Stats map. The bigger map is going to have a lot more freedom versus Dark's harassment, his Baneling drops, his Ling-heavy melee ZVP style. But what we haven't seen from Stats in this match between these players yet is late game. Dark has killed him or crippled him in the early to mid game every single time. But on this big map, if he can survive that early game, we will finally get to see late game. We'll get to see storms go off. We'll get to see adept zealot harassment in the late game. If we can get there, that's where Stats really shines.
Well, I mean, game number 2 is the closest we got. And to be honest, he didn't prepare too well. I mean, Dark, as you were saying, he crippled him pretty early on with those Baneling drops again. But Stats, he was seemingly more on point. But then again, once we got to that last fight, the one that decided it, rather, when Stats tried to attack there before the Broodlords, everything was just kind of out of whack. So I feel like things are going to be different here in game number 4. Stats winning game number 3. He's definitely cooled down a bit, got rid of some of those nerves early on in the series. He's down the game, but he's not out of the series.
Now, 4 for 4 here for Stats, going for a Stargate opener. It's just the way that Protoss is playing this matchup right now. A lot of pro gamers in Europe especially have come out and saying they feel like you're forced to Stargate in this matchup. You don't have any other choice, but that's just how matchups go. That's how the meta is right now. We're not going to see any sort of crazy openings out of stats here in the grand finals. He's going to stick to what he knows. That's his style. It's always been his way. Dark, kind of the opposite. He will pull out anything in the finals. You know, Casper Cup finals, you think about that from back then. All right, this is stats. Win. CNT fighting. CNT today. I read the sign for you guys.
Yeah, you did it. And yeah, we got Overlord speed once again. No surprise here. I mean, he's done it in every single game except number 3, which is Alrena. Of course, he's going for that very quick attack. Doesn't necessarily need it. Does scout the Stargate regardless, so he knows what he's going up against once again. And he's immediately bringing that Overlord on the right out of the way. Seems like he's keeping number 2 on the left here a little bit closer. Wants to know what the follow-up is, perhaps when that third base is coming up. But Phoenix is coming out, are going to push these Overlords away for now.
So, you know, no more information here for Dark for the time being. Third base on the way, and this is the first time. Oh, it's Flash!
There he is.
I want to hype that moment.
Crowd goes wild again. Lots of famous people here.
This is the first time we see no Baneling Nest, no Evo Chamber, despite, I mean, with the exception, of course, of the Roachall in-game on Arena, the previous map. So Stats will have a secured third base.
Well,
Evolution Chamber.
It's probably just going to be for upgrades. I mean, I suppose he could also drop, you know, perhaps go for lane drops, but with Phoenix is already out. Well, as I say that, here we go again. Baneling Nest on the way. Seems like it's a bit later. He's gone up to 45 drones this time.
Burrow started then canceled. Am I crazy, or did he do this in Pro League as well, where he was considering doing some Burrow traps, didn't do it?
I feel like we have seen this before.
Yeah, Dark actually was using also Burrow links to deny the fourth base as well. You know, there were no observers on the map because of the Stargate openings. There were just a late robo. He's going to use links in that fashion. He cancels it though. He's not going to commit to that. And late Baneling drops are still going to potentially be effective. We don't know if this is just going to be for drops or is this going to be for the composition that Dark likes to build. Because for years, I've been commenting Starcraft 2 in Korea for 5 years, and for 5 years until like this meta that we're seeing right now, Banelings were not used in this matchup en masse. And so for me, when I see that Baneling Nest, I always think, okay, it's a drop. He's just going to do this thing. He's got some crazy plan.
Yeah.
But no, this is actually just how Dark plays a matchup. He's like, no, I play a different unit comp than has ever been used before in ZVP.
That's so interesting to me, man. Like, switching it up, especially over here at the finals. Like, he must have done a ton of practicing. He's had a lot of games recently in different matchups, but not too much against Protoss. So we haven't seen him play against Protoss since he played against Stats. So, I mean, his style has been hidden for so long, and he comes out with this new kind of style, new unit composition, and it's working really well so far. Stats definitely does not have the answer.
He is diligently looking for Overlords here. He sends all the Phoenixes to commit to this one. He may think it's full. It's not. There is a Phoenix patrolling the bot where there's Overlords over here. One morphing for this Baneling drop. He will see it, and then he can send the rest of the Phoenixes down to defend this as well. The only thing this means for Stats negatively, I suppose, is that he doesn't have Phoenixes harassing, and Scotty scouts it again, and we'll shut it down.
This is huge. Gotta drop those Banelings out. They're all alone. I mean, the Phoenixes could just go ahead and pick them up. Totally shut down this time. So finally,
he's getting in his groove, you know? Baneling speed, +1, nearly finished.
Yeah, Dark's like, okay, you stop that. That's only phase 1 of the many different phases of my crazy build and unit comp. Once again, lots of Immortals being built here. I mean, they're clunky, you know, they're big, they can take a lot of shots with their barrier against the Banelings, but I feel like he should be getting Storm a little bit quicker against his composition.
Yeah, I think that's one thing to keep in mind. I mean, low sentry count is also somewhat alarming. If an attack comes his way, it's going to be tougher to defend. But this is a more patient game from Dark. It's like game 2, except he didn't do damage. So if you look at the supplies, like Stats is staying even. Dark is taking a 4th base, is getting the Spire, is getting the Hive. We've seen this game already before. Charge coming out, Temple Archives. I think he's going to try to kill him before Brewlords, but this time he's going to have a better setup.
I like that a lot. I like this position a lot, but decides, well, he may drop again. And Dark is not done with the drops, by the way. You thought that was it? You thought it was shut down? It is not. The Phoenixes are over here harassing the 4th base, and the Baneling drop is coming into the back door of Stats.
There we go. He doesn't have anything there. There's the team. They're like, come on, Dark, make it work.
There's one cannon. That's it.
Baneling speed's done. Yeah, Banning speed's done. Here we go.
Just drop him out. You can roll him onto the... Oh, man. Okay,
He
here we
wants
go.
to try to corral them into the maximum amount of damage,
Yeah.
but good pulls here by Stats. I don't think he's going to lose a single probe. Not a single probe goes down here.
Nope, well...
I mean, a lot of damage, but no kill.
There you go.
Looks like he nearly got 9 probes, but alas, he does not. Good reaction by Stats. Some lost mine time alone. All right, the Spire is done.
The interesting part about this build from Dark is that this looks a lot like Dust Towers again. Very big map, backdoor base. Dark is playing this style, but he's playing it very Mac-oriented. He's taking bases so fast. The 4th base came out like lightning, and number 5 was nearly right after number 4. And Stats delays his 4th base for a very long time. So Dark up to 77 drones. He's been mining for a very long time. He's got an amazing economy at this point.
It's hard to attack as Stats when you're up against this insanely mobile Ling composition. 97 Lings are on the map. Counterattacks are dangerous, they're terrifying. Drops as well. Now he's got a Psystorm, but instead of going for that timing attack to end the game, he's going to transition to Tempest this time. A second Stargate and Fleet Beacon. Oh,
here we go, Banelings rolling in. And Overcharge is coming down. Still a lot of Banelings left over, but a nice pull by Stats, and he won't lose a single thing except some mining time.
Yeah, losing a lot of health on some of those probes, so maybe if another follow-up comes in, it could be damaging here. Now, crowd goes wild when they see that Fleet Beacon. This is going to be the first late game that we see in this series. Game number 4, it's happening. And look at that, another base taken from Stats. That will actually be Dark. That will actually be his 6th base.
Yeah, he's just so safe. He knows that Stats isn't moving out anytime soon. He's taking the 4th base only now. He's like, okay, he hasn't even made a single Baneling outside of the ones he's used for Harass. He's using all of his gas to tech up, and he's using these links to just do some extra damage. Coming in, hold position, and down go a bunch of probes. 6 of them going to go down, and he can trade these links. He has so much larva, so much mining, he's totally fine to do that.
Big aggressive scout here for Stats. He wants to see what the tech is. He sees that there are Brood Lords out. I'm not entirely certain, though, if he saw the Ultralisk Cavern that's on the way right now. I don't think he did. I think it's actually at the backdoor expansion. But both techs available here for Dark. You can use Brood Lords and then force that transition to Tempest and then hit him hard with this huge bang with Ultralisk.
We have an interesting situation coming up here. Dark going for the counterattack, and Adrenal Glands is done! And down goes your Nexus in a blink of an eye! Stats moving out of position for just 1 second, and it doesn't end there.
Oh, big Ling drop over here. And he can actually morph Banelings if he wants to, once he controls this location. Banelings going into the 3rd base, meanwhile. Gonna get just 3 probes there, and this will force a warp in at home. He will clean this up. He loses cannons, but still, damage done here, keeping Stats on the defensive. Although, here he comes, he's moving out for the first time.
It's pretty unbelievable the way that Dark plays this style with continuous drops, run-bys to keep the Protoss in his base. Even as Stats tries to drop, he has the perfect defense here at the backdoor base with a bunch of Lings and Banelings waiting and ready. This is the first time Stats is going to try something interesting. He's going to try to run by with these Zealots, but already the creep spread far enough out there that this is spotted, it's surrounded, and Adrenal Gland plus 2 Lings are pretty strong.
Yeah, they have armor as well. Yeah, Stats has his own armor upgrades, but it's not like the Lings of old. They're just better. Adrenal Glands is better than Legacy of the Void. He has a massive amount of them, and that was a big mineral dump for Stats. And Dark's like, well, yeah, I still got my huge economy. I still have 89 drones. He's afraid of nothing. A mothership is on the way here to help Stats deal with the late game comp. He doesn't know which one he's up against yet. He keeps trying to check. Is it Ultras? Is it Brood Lords? And both are available here.
Well, here we go. Link drop into the main this time. And at the same time, he's going to run by towards that 4th base. There's no defense there except the cannon.
He's splitting into the backdoor expansion as well. He's going to target down that Nexus.
Look how fast that goes down. That's not that many Lings.
Yeah, he doesn't even have +3 yet.
It's like 14 Lings.
He's going to commit to it. Storms will save it just barely at 88 health. They're not accidentally attack 1 Zealot on it. It's going to die in a second.
Yeah. Oh, man, she can't even believe it, Wolf. Mothership is out and ready, and this may be an interesting time where the Protoss finally gets that big death ball. It's looking somewhat like part of the Swarm, where he finally gets, a bunch of area units. He's got 6 Tempests, and he's going to try to recall over here. And really
my
nice.
God! The Cloak recall save on the Nexus. Professor Stats found the answer. More harassment here, though, in Remain.
This will be shut down.
That was a sick defense on that base, so. Never seen a recall used like that
Dark's
before.
like, okay, time to bring in the big guns. Now he's got 6 Overseers with this.
Nice tag here. You see a little bit of a depth harass going on. He's going to have to kill that spine first. So +3 shouldn't be too big of a problem. Forcing some wings back. But here comes the death ball of Zerg. Heading towards that 4th base, which is almost done. You can call it the big guns, the artillery. These Broodlords are going to shell at this Nexus. And a few waves of Broodlings will finish it off. The Broodlings are about to have +3 for ground weapons.
Such an interesting style out of Dark, and it's crazy how well it's working. Especially on this map, it's just doing wonders, giving Dark all the room in the world. There you go, 4th base should be gone. Storm's coming down. All he's got to do is focus that down, but it looks like he just wants to fight.
He wants to kill that Mothership. He's committing to the Tempest here as well. He doesn't have enough. He's going to back off. Big harassment as well. I think really starting to tempt him to just say, okay, this is not the commitment I want. I already killed the Nexus. I don't want to lose my army for this, even with the bank I have. Zealots here at 3-2 upgrades are just so difficult to kill.
And here we go, Stats on the chase. The Broodlords are all alone. Where are the Corruptors? Looks like they're finally coming back. This will be able to push Stats back for now. But again, constant harassment. He shut down this one mining base, making it a bit harder for Dark to keep his macro up.
Someone forgot to unbind the Swarm host. One of them on the way here, but 17 Corruptors, 2 Infestors. Infestors can not only lock these units in place to secure the kills with the Corruptors and Broodlords, but they also reveal cloaked units. So it's going to be very effective at stopping the death ball that Stats himself is trying to build here. And a lot of Void Rays being added to deal with the Corruptors. They're also going to be very effective versus the Ultras. There are only 6 Queens on the map. Not a lot of transfuses available here.
Yeah, I would love to see him add in some more. It looks like he's just going with that ultimate composition. You know, not adding in that many queens. You can see Stats' face. They're very, very focused, doing a million things at once.
Look at this. Actually, like 6 of 6 queens are right here.
If you wanted defense, well, you got it. There you go.
Surveys say 6 of 6
that
queens would go to this location.
That just would not die. SKT coach here, looking on. Uv must be pretty proud of his young player Dark doing so well in the finals here.
He and Box are basically the 2 fathers of Dark, taking care of him, watching him. All right, this is a dead drop. I'm so sorry. All the Corruptors are out of position, but Stats doesn't have a follow-up. You can't punish this.
No, too big of a map. 23 Corruptors here.
I'm not even kidding. I'd love to see a Nexus to the top right in that Fog of War for recalls aggressively to be used to attack.
That would be pretty cool.
Because his army is slow.
He can afford it at this point.
Yeah, sure. He's out of money, but I mean, he's kind of he couldn't punish that Corruptor move out because his army's too slow. It has to always be together. DT's coming out here. There's Spores set up, but he's got +3, so he can kill those pretty quickly.
You know, I'm kind of surprised it's this late. I think he got that Dark Shrine much earlier on in the game, but now it looks like he does want to commit to that. Obviously wanted to spend his gas elsewhere up until now. This base here, just one Corruptor has spotted it and is marking his territory over there.
Dark, most famous for his Corruptor play, actually, in ZBT, and now showing us the uses of them in this match as well. So a lot of Tempest here, and Void Rays are also going to do a serious number on these Ultras. This is Cloak, but there are a lot of Overseers coming in. He's going to commit.
That's not enough Overseers. He needs to get them in the back so they have the detection, so they cannot be sniped here. Here we go, Ultras coming forward. They have that kind of misplating. They are so tanky, and down goes the base. No way Stats can defend.
Okay, he's going to have to just hard engage here. Storm's going down, Time Warps as well. It's a lot of Void Rays underneath this army, and Dark's army is being vaporized by this Air Protoss. Dark is remaxing. What he's remaxing with, we won't know until it's shown. Okay, 14 Corruptors and 6 Ultras, kind of splitting it between the two, but look at all these expensive dead Broodlords here.
He can't quite get away with them. As long as Stats follow, he's just going to try to do some damage over here, but they all go down. The Mothership did not even die. I'm not sure about the Tempest. It looks like a decent number of them do survive. 6 still out on the map.
But even though Dark's armor was obliterated, he had the bank with those 90 drones for so long, and with all the Void Rays that went down, he knows, Dark knows these can't be replaced as quickly as I can make Corruptors. He's making so many, he has 14.
He's fighting from 2 gas right now. Like, he hasn't even taken the gas at his other fourth over there on the right side of the map.
Yeah, Void Rays are good against Corruptors, but 6 versus 26, I can tell you guys, spoiler alert, the 26, now 28 Corruptors will win that fight. Storms are everything here for Stats, and there's just too many Overseers. The Cloak isn't even a factor anymore. Actually, there's only 2 Overseers left as I say this.
A lot of them died. I mean, he could just focus down the Mothership core. But Stats, he has located this army, and it looks like Dark does want to engage again. It's not a very big army.
Yeah, let me know if you can call this an army. He needs to recall. I don't know if he has the energy for it. This is a dead Protoss army, and I think that is going to be game over here. As even with Durant's music coming down, this is no way to deal with these Corruptors. Queen's on the ground as well.
And the Ultras still survive. It looks like this army will be taken out, but the Ultras are alive. They could take out that base.
Yeah, they're going to go for it here. And Stats can't deal with both the Ultras and the Air Army.
And he can't lose his base. It's only mining base right now.
Yeah, doesn't even have gases up. Looks like he's going to sacrifice it, let it go. And look at this, all the Queens coming up, more reinforcing Corruptors. Just too much economy for Dark. Down goes the Nexus. And I think that's it. I think Dark is going to take game 3. GG!
Dark makes it 3-1 and goes on to match point. What an unbelievable long macro game. Dark showing his prowess and showing why he is the best Zerg in the world.
Best Zerg in the world here. 1 win away from being the first Starcraft champion in Korea, the first Star League champion of the year. Stats needs to pull himself together. He will have to win 3 maps in a row in order to take this finals.
3 maps in a row against someone this good is going to be a large feat. We knew it coming in, but now it's even harder. 3 in a row. He does not have any more sets to lose. You can see Dark looking calm as ever. The Dark teammates and coaches don't even go into the booth. They trust him so much. They're like, you're doing so well, we have nothing to say. You know, set 3, you all in, it didn't work. The counter all in, it killed you. Okay, we get it, it's fine. I'm sure they talked during the break, you know, gave him some tips, some pointers here and there. But this guy is looking so clean today, and I'm loving his style.
He really, really looks solid, Valdez. And he is proving time and time again, in this matchup especially, he is the best Zerg in the world. He plays his own style, he plays by his own rules. And he had an economy that Stats could never deny. You know, he was at like 90 drones on 6 bases, building that huge bank. And that's how he won that game.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable play. But guys, we're going to go to another 5-minute break. We'll be right back.